Hey everyone, and welcome back to Road to Forever. I'm Terry, and in today's video I'll be talking about foods to avoid if you have a stomach ulcer. Now, everyone is different, so some of these items may not pose an issue for you. However, what you can do is do an elimination diet to see which of these items may be causing you problems. So let's jump right in and talk about these different foods you should avoid if you have a stomach ulcer. So I know that it might be hard to avoid some of these items because you enjoy them, but this is just temporary while your ulcer is healing. And if, like me, you enjoy spicy foods, I will say that this is something you're going to have to avoid when you have an ulcer. So you want to make sure, first thing to avoid are items that have spices like black pepper, habaneros, jalapenos, chili powder, chili pepper, any type of spicy food. So that's the first thing you want to avoid if you have an ulcer. The next thing to avoid are fatty foods and fried foods. And the reason for that is because these foods will sit in your stomach, take a longer time to digest, and that can lead to bloating and pain. So you definitely want to avoid fatty and fried foods. The next thing to avoid are acidic foods. So things like your citrus fruits and juices, as well as your tomato products. And the reason for this obviously is because they're going to increase the production of acid in your stomach, and that can cause issues. Next thing to avoid if you have a stomach ulcer is coffee. So if you're someone who starts your day with coffee, you're just going to avoid this for a while because, again, this is also going to increase your stomach acid production. So you want to make sure that you're putting coffee to the side. And that also includes decaffeinated coffee as well. And so caffeinated products are definitely something you also just want to put away temporarily while your stomach is going through this healing process. Next thing to avoid, things such as chocolate. I know it might be really hard, and maybe for dessert each night you have a small piece of chocolate. And yes, dark chocolate has benefits and can be good for you, but while you have a stomach ulcer, you want to avoid like your cocoa products or your chocolate, again, because these can cause the production of acid, and so that's going to irritate your stomach lining. Next thing on my list are some green teas and black teas, and that's because they contain a compound which can cause you issues if you have a stomach ulcer. So again, avoid certain green teas and black teas if you have a stomach ulcer. Next thing you want to avoid with a stomach ulcer is alcohol. So if you're someone who likes to drink wine or beer, just put that aside temporarily while your stomach ulcer is healing. And remember, one of the things you can do is an elimination diet. And so with the elimination diet, maybe this is something you don't have to remove completely, but these are just some of the most common foods that people who have stomach ulcers have issues with. So again, remember, everyone is different. So what may cause one person an issue may not cause you an issue. So just figure out what works for you. Next thing are things like peppermint. Again, think about it. They're going to be a little harsh to line up your stomach, so you want to make sure you are avoiding those things. Now, let me know in the comments below, what are some items that cause you problem when you have a stomach ulcer? And if you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up so I can know to make more videos like this. And if you haven't seen our other videos on stomach ulcers, I will link them up here so that you can check them out, especially if this is your first time dealing with a stomach ulcer. And as always, make sure you're checking with your healthcare provider before you make any changes to your diet. So stick around, because on the screen I will put a list of all of these different items, so that way you can write them down or you can take a screenshot and save them for later. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe for more awesome content just like this. Before I leave, I just want to remind you, you're only one prayer away. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.